So again, nothing too crazy or exciting here, but we're looking at some good solid positioning on the switch itself, and then a good recovery after the action, dealing with a mismatch. So we'll take it from the screen action, and of course in this instance we're looking at these two defenders. These are the ones that are switching. And you can think about it this way. You can see how the screener kind of has them split. So each defender is essentially responsible for one side of the screen if the ball handler comes off that way. So in this case, this defender is taking the ball handler when she comes off and uses the screen, when she drives right like she does. And then this defender would have her if she refused the screen, if she went left. But in this case, now she's responsible for the screener rolling to the basket. And that can be a tough part of the switch action, but she does a really good job here staying tight with that roller, getting her hands up, staying in between her and the passer. And because that's a mismatch and that potential lob over the top is there, these two help defenders do a nice job of sinking in just enough to deter that pass. Maybe a little too far because we still want to contest that three in the corner, but we'll definitely take that over a wide open layup inside. So here we're seeing a lot of the same principles, some really good positioning on the switch, and then also a really good front in the post. So again, we got the switch on the ball screen here between these two defenders. So as that ball handler is coming off the screen, you can see Thornton here is in a really good position. She meets that ball handler as soon as she's coming off, getting right in front of her and not allowing any space to get beat by the split or the slip. Then we'll see Alicia Gray here, knowing she's got that mismatch in the post, does a really great job of getting over and in front of that roll, not allowing that easy pass for the layup, and then fronts her in the post because when we got that mismatch, you don't want to get stuck behind getting posted up, probably giving an easy bucket to that big. Then again, when we got that mismatch in the post and she's fronting, she might need a little help inside, and in this case, this help defender doesn't necessarily have to sprint all the way over, but just be ready for that pass over the top to help in the post. And that's just good team defense, communicating and helping each other out. Now in this clip, we're going to see another switch on the ball screen. We're also going to see a switch off the ball to help get out of that mismatch situation. Because again, switching on the ball itself is not too complicated, but it's those other mismatches and positioning where it gets a little tricky on defense. So same concepts on switching on this ball screen, and whether it was in their game plan or not, when you got this much space between you and the ball handler, you kind of have to switch. But that's fine here, they switch it pretty easily, and it doesn't hurt to have a former depoy that can guard every position, like Natasha Howard up here. Then we'll see Sabrina here do that same thing, guarding the roll, getting in front, because she definitely doesn't want to be guarding this big center under the basket. So she's going to switch with Lainey here, who's a bit more comfortable guarding the post. And at that point, you just got to communicate, make sure the switch is quick and efficient, and it's not coming at a time where it exposes you on defense. And you can see they do a pretty good job here as none of those mismatches really get exposed. Similar to that last clip, we're going to see them switch on the on-ball screen and then switch off-ball to get out of that little mismatch. And we'll see why the timing of that is important. So we'll take it back to the top again, and of course we have this initial switch between these two players, Hamby and Plum, and nothing too exciting, but again, that good positioning where they're each responsible for their side of the screen, not getting beat, and you can tell they're communicating on the same page for that switch. But now, both those defenders got a pretty tough mismatch that they don't really want to guard, whether we're talking speed and quickness disadvantage or a size disadvantage. But of course, you can't just abandon your assignment on the defensive end. That's why we got to communicate on this switch, do it quick and seamlessly, and we want to get it done when there's no immediate threat. In this case, the offense fumbles the ball a little bit, so it's clear that they're not about to make that pass to the wide open shooter or into the post. But typically, those little positional switches are easiest when the ball's on the other side of the floor and there's no immediate threat right there. At the end of the day, it's not too complicated, just keep those concepts in mind. You don't want to fall asleep and get beat on the initial switch, we don't want to get killed on mismatches, and it's not always going to be pretty and perfect, but if you work as a team and communicate, you can still get those stops.